All right. So today is the first day you're working on this project. We're going to complete 4 videos. So this is the last of the four for today's class period. We are going to learn about markers. So first things first, before you begin this tutorial, you have to have your voiceover in. So if you do not have that, please make sure you have that in there. The reason why is we need to organize our timeline using our voiceover. Now, for you, it's going to be a little bit easier because you should have 5 separate voiceovers that you have in your audio track one. I only have one, so it makes it a little bit more difficult for me, but for you, this should be a little bit easier. Now, again, I want to make sure that my video clips match my voiceover. So I need to organize my timeline so I know where I need to add each type of clips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play my audio track. All right. So the first section here, it says, enjoy the Carolina Classic Fair the way you were always meant to. This is our introduction. So in the introduction here, I want to use some introductory clips of maybe the fairgrounds, the entrance, etc. Okay. Now, how I'm going to organize my timeline is through using markers. There are 2 different types of markers. There is a timeline marker and a clip marker, and you're going to have to know the difference between the two for the certification exam. The one we're going to use today is a timeline marker. Now, extremely important to use a timeline marker, you got to make sure that your audio clip is deselected. So just click away in the screen so it is not highlighted, right? This is my clip selected. It's outlined in white. If I click away, it's deselected. It is not outlined. Okay. Now, for you, this is going to be easier because you know exactly where one ends and the other begins because you have separate audio tracks in audio track one. I don't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this center or the first 5.6 frames as introduction. Okay. So what I'm going to do and what you're going to do is you're going to go to the end of your first audio clip here in audio track one and make sure again that this is deselected. You're going to press the M key on your keyboard. M for marker, easy to understand. Okay. So you're going to press the M key. Now you can see that when you press the M key, you get this green little flag here, like kind of like an arrow that appears. This is your marker. Okay. Now it's extremely important to know that you can edit these markers. And this is what it will have you do on the certification exam. So how do I do that? Simply, all you have to do is just double click on it and you're going to get this marker menu. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in introduction. Okay. I can also color code this. I'm going to leave the first one green just to keep it simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press OK. Now, you can see here that nothing changed. But if I do hover over it, it does say introduction. Okay. Now, I want to go ahead and I want to adjust this marker so I can see what it says. Now, you can see I have these 2 arrows on my marker. Now, the way I did this was by holding down the Alt key and clicking this marker. These little arrows here are little draggers. So all I can do here is come back out, drag this over to the beginning, and now I know that this area here is my introduction, right? So in this section here in my video track, I need to make sure that this is my introduction clips. Okay. Now I'm going to press spacebar again. All right. So the next section is on our food here. They were talking, saying, enjoy the taste from the mountains to the coast. Try our Oreos, other treats, fried turkey legs, etc. Okay. Again, where that ends, I'm going to press the M key down and I am going to get my marker. I'm going to double click on it. This time I'm going to go in and type in food. I'm going to select red. I'm going to press OK. Again, I'm going to hold down the Alt key. I'm going to select it and I'm going to drag it to the edge of this other marker here. Okay, so now I know that this section after my introduction is going to be my food clips. And again, I want to make sure that this is perfect. So I'm going to come back here, right to where this begins. Yep. So right about here, I can adjust this out. Right with that blue marker kind of snaps to it, and I'm good to go. Enjoy the taste from the mountains to the coast. Try our donuts, fried Oreos, and those delicious giant turkey legs. All right, so I'm good on the food part. Now, you can notice here if I zoom in that he stops before he begins the next portion here. So what I'm going to end up doing here is if you have any gaps here, I'm going to have you take this away. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this razor tool. This razor tool is used to split clips. So I'm going to come back here right to kind of where this one ends, right where my marker ends, and I'm going to clip it. Now, you're going to have what I see now with your different audio tracks. Okay, so you don't need to clip the edge, but what this is going to help you with is you're going to already have a new beginning where you can drag this portion out here to get rid of any blank parts. So say you recorded, right, and you were silent for a second or two before you started talking. I'm going to take this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my little dragger here, this blue arrow, right to just before this starts. Now, I don't want to go right up to it because I might cut something out. So I'm going to go a few frames back just to give me a little section of a breathing room so I don't mess anything up. And then I'm going to drag this over. Okay, that way I'm not leaving any blank sections in. So now if I listen to this, it just flows so much better. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again, right where this clip starts. All right, I'm going to play my voiceover. Make friends with the animals. I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to give this a little bit longer. Now, if you look real quick, I did this on accident. This clip was selected. I pressed M and it added down into the clip. That is our clip marker. I don't want that. So again, I'm just going to press Control Z. I'm going to click out here and I'm going to press the M button. This is our animal clips. I'm going to select red. I'm going to press OK. Oop, actually, I don't want red because the other one's red. So I'm going to go pink. I'm going to hold the Alt key down, and I'm going to attach this to the beginning of this other section here. All right, same thing here. I'm going to come in about to this section here. I'm going to use my razor tool. Again, you should not need to do this because yours already matches. I'm going to get rid of those silent sections. Or actually, let me see here. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the end of this clip because it's silent. I'm going to attach this over here. So now we have make friends with the animals. And experience the thrill of a lifetime. All right, experience the thrill of a lifetime. This is going to be my ride section. I'm going to go orange. Again, I'm going to hold the Alt key down and drag this out. And experience the thrill of a lifetime. Because 1 year of distance is a lifetime apart. The Carolina Classic. All right. This section here, the 1 year of distance is a lifetime apart. That was another section they had with the talking about COVID. So I'm going to take that out. We don't need that for this. You won't have that, so you don't have to worry about that. All right. Again, I'm going to trim this up to the edge of my marker here. I'm going to press this delete button. So now we have Thrill of a Lifetime, the Carolina Classic Fair, only at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds, October 1st to the 10th. Perfect. All right. So at the end, I'm just going to mark M again for it one last time. Double click on my arrow. I'm going to go blue. I'm going to do my outro, right? So I have my intro and my outro. I'm going to press OK. I'm going to hold the Alt key down and I'm going to drag this out. Now, you may have noticed that there's no section for rides. So The rides might be good to put in the outro part where they're talking about the Carolina Classic Fair. You might be good for the introduction, etc. So now my timeline is organized. I know exactly where I need to put in each clip. So again, I'm going to go into my video clips. I'm kind of look around to see what I have in here, and I can tell here that I have kind of like the entrance to the fairgrounds. I think that might be perfect to put as the introduction here. So I'm going to start this right before it kind of does that zoom, kind of right here where you can just first see that sign. Now, this is where we'll get into the 3-point editing. But again, I'm going to set my endpoint, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But I'm going to set my endpoint, and I'm going to take it to right about there where it zooms back out to that tree. And I'm going to put this clip. Again, I'm going to drag just the video. I don't want the audio in here at the beginning. Now, we'll get into this, and I'm going to stop it here. But you can see that this video clip does not match the size of my screen. So we're going to come back, and we're going to talk about why that is and how we can fix that tomorrow. Okay. But I want you to get your first clip in here with the introduction. And then tomorrow we'll kind of start adding everything else back in. Okay. But that is markers. That is how you organize your timeline. And we'll have a lot of different uses for those throughout the semester. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. But this is where you should be leaving off going into day number 2.